In 3, 2.
Is number 16 in place?
Yes.
It's one that's been bothering me today.
Yeah, number 16.
Okay, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new Portable Thoughts interview. We've got our new principal. Well, not new. He's been here about, 2 months now?
2 months.
2 months. Mr. Dave McCausey.
How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
Good, thanks.
Nice, nice. So we're just going to ask you some questions about, kind of how you ended up here, what's it like here as a principal, and all sorts of things about your deep personal life you don't like sharing.
All right, great. Wonderful.
Yeah, your shower routine, everything.
Okay.
We're getting
All
to
right.
it.
Well,
yeah.
you just let me know what you need me to answer.
All right, well, we'll start off with who are you? How did you get here? What led you to, the school? Kind of like assume like the audience doesn't know anything
Okay.
about you.
So about the last 10 years I've been umpiring and officiating here at Berry County, and I've really enjoyed the school district, the school itself. I was looking for a new position, get out of manufacturing. I've been in manufacturing for over 25 years. It was time to get out of it. And this position was open. I applied for it, and Mr. Strong interviewed me, and I got hired. So that's how I got here.
All right, that's
Wow.
that's pretty simple.
Yeah,
That
pretty
was
simple.
a slick and untimely answer.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't carry on for too long, because you guys need to talk
No,
too.
no, that's the point. You should
Yeah,
carry on.
carry on as long as
Give
you
us some
want.
more details about that, honestly.
Yeah.
Expand on it.
All right. For the last 10 years, I've been in leadership roles in manufacturing, being a supervisor, manager, things of that nature for the maintenance departments. So what Mr. Strong was looking for was a leader rather than just an
Yeah.
education person. So I don't have the experience in education. My wife does. She's been a teacher for 33 years in Hastings District. But he was looking for a leader. I've got the leadership skills, so this was a position for me. So coming in, I've got the teachers that can really educate me on education,
Oh, yeah.
and I got them to show them what leadership is about.
All right, all right.
So what did you do in manufacturing?
I started out as a process instrument technician, basically electronics tech.
Alright.
That was at Pfizer down in Kalamazoo. But was there for about 11 years before I got laid off, and then I just kind of
Bounced
found another
around.
job and bounced around a little bit with manufacturing. Manufacturing, you really, unless you get into a really good position, you're not going to stay there for long, because it just doesn't work out that way. There's too many ups and downs in the manufacturing realm. So from there, I went to a place called Manitou, BRP, which is the shirt I'm wearing right now. If you know anything about BRP, they make snowmobiles,
All right, all right.
crotch rockets, whatever you want to call them.
Fancy
yeah.
fun things.
Fancy fun toys. But I was in the Manitou department, which is in Lansing, as a pontoon boat maintenance supervisor. Maintenance manager, sorry.
This is a very complicated title.
Sounds like it, but basically all I did was worked with our maintenance team, made sure that they were following the rules of the company, and giving them the leadership that they needed. So making schedules, making budgets, making time off requests, anything of that nature.
Nice.
All right.
Was there anything that was specifically in education that was compelling to you, or drug you in?
For this school, what I've really enjoyed is making the relationships with the students here at this campus. That was even before I got here. Learning who they are, what they stand for. I mean, Berry County, we know, stands for biblical principles. We're going to follow the Bible no matter what. But the kids that I met here, umpiring and coaching and various things, just really led me to want to be part of that. It's a great place to be, and all the students here, I haven't met a student yet I don't like. So, which is probably why they call me iPal.
Hi, pal.
Not one student you haven't liked?
No, I haven't had one student I haven't liked yet, Jay. Are
Okay.
you pushing for that role?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I have I pushed that?
No, you haven't. You're kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. We'll stay where we're at.
Yeah.
Alright, alright.
So, what kind of schooling and faith did you grow up in as a kid?
So growing up as a kid, I didn't go to church. Never went to church. I met she's my wife now. When I was 16, I went to church with her family. And at 16, gave my life to Christ, and tried to follow that Christian religion everywhere I've been. Now, does that mean I've always been perfect? Nah, never. I make mistakes just like everybody else does. There's nobody out here that's perfect. But that was at an Assembly of God church at a Billy Graham, or not a Billy Graham. I can't think of his name now. I'm lost. Got into a sexual problem not too long ago. He was hiring prostitutes and things like that. Jimmy Swaggart revival at an Assembly of God church. And that's how I came to Christ. My girlfriend at the time kept pushing me to come to church with him, and my parents didn't really care if we went to church or not, so I didn't go. Sunday morning, I can sleep in. After I came to Christ, it was, I want to go every Wednesday, I want to go every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, and continue to go to church and learn more. Christ really changed my mindset, I guess is the best way to put it, by grabbing my heart. And so following the Holy Spirit's leading, I pretty much thought maybe that's the way I want to go. Ended up going in the Navy for 6 years and then into the manufacturing realm. So, as far as church, where I go now, I attend church online, actually. It's Family Valley Church out of Kalamazoo. I'd like to say I drive down there every weekend, but I don't. It's an hour away. Do I go down there? Yeah, I go down there, but not every weekend. So most of the time I can catch it live on TV.
Yeah.
So I'll sit in my pajamas and drink out of my coffee cup and enjoy my time.
So you just mentioned that you went in the Navy for 6 years.
I did,
What
yes.
did you do in the Navy?
I was called a fire controlman, which doesn't mean I put out fires. That means I actually start them. Fire controlman actually solves the fire control solution. So where we're going to launch a missile off of a ship and hit another target. So that was my position.
Did you ever get to launch any missiles?
We did. I actually launched one for this was a long time ago. I was back in the 80s. Ronald Reagan, when he developed Star Wars, and I don't know if you even know who Ronald Reagan is. You probably
both
do.
of those things.
Yes, but he started the Star Wars initiative. When he did that, we had launched a missile into space, try to see if we could hit an ICBM that might have been launched from Russia or somewhere else.
All right.
So-
All right.
There were several times during Desert Storm, during the war, that we had missiles on the rail ready to shoot, but you have to identify friend or foe. If you're one of our friends, we don't want to shoot you down. And
Yeah.
most of the time, when they finally realized they were locked down, then they would hit their IFF on so that we would know that they're friends.
So, at what age did you get into the Navy?
Let's see, it would have been in 1989, so it would have been 23. Yeah.
So you were a Christ follower at that point.
I was, yes.
Right. How did your faith affect that whole thing?
I was kind of ostracized a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the military isn't perfect for a Christian or even a new Christian. 7 years in and following Christ. Once I got there, though, I did develop a great relationship with our chaplain on board, and we started a Bible study. So every Wednesday night we'd have Bible study. It was kind of neat, but I met a few people on board my ship. It was the USS Richmond K. Turner, which is a reef off of North Carolina right now. But with the chapel and everything else, we had a pretty good Bible study going. We had about 20 guys that would come up every Wednesday night. So it was kind of neat, yeah. It did interfere. I mean, for me, killing people isn't the best thing to do in life, But as part of the military experience, it helped me to understand where I was. It wasn't necessarily that I was killing people. It was trying to prevent people from getting killed, is how I looked at it. So.
You were preventing the people who were killing
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You're preventing additional deaths with
Yes.
potentially one.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people look at the military as all we're doing out there for the U.S. is going out and killing people, and that's not really what the military is about. I mean, you look at all these different movies that promote all this shooting and killing and everything else.
Yeah.
That's not what the military is really about. The military is more on the lines of, I want to stop any further escalation so that somebody doesn't die. So,
Do you think that the military ever makes foolish choices?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we pay $60 for a hammer that I can go to Ace Hardware and spend $5 for, that's a problem. It's a silly
Yeah.
choice. But the military does sign up for contracts and things like that, and they have to abide by the contract. So if the contract says we're paying $60 for a hammer, that's what they buy.
Is it a nice hammer?
Same hammer I can get at Ace Hardware. So
Right.
Ugh, yikes.
yes.
Schooling for you,
Mhm.
what kind of school did you go to?
After I got out of the military, and I kind of used the military and Pfizer to receive my associate's degree. My associate's degree was in electronics. So
All right. All right. What did you do any like higher schooling than high school before you went into the military, or?
I started to go to. I was raised in a town called Oscoda. When I graduated in 1984, yeah, that was that long ago. But when I graduated in 1984, I started to take a few classes at a community college, and from there I went to Central Michigan University. I didn't finish my degree there, and so using those credit hours plus the credit hours I got from the Navy and from Pfizer, I was able to finish up the associate's degree.
All right.
So there's some issues in the public school system today. I'm sure you're aware. right?
Yes.
So what are some of the issues that you know about, and what are some of the solutions to those, if you have any?
One of the biggest problems that I have with public schools, and I hope my wife never sees this, but she is a public school teacher, so I might be in trouble. But one of the biggest things is standardized testing. We don't do that here, which is wonderful.
At least don't require it.
Don't require it, yes.
So what is
Standardized testing says we'll do it at 5th grade, 8th grade, and then maybe your 10th grade or 11th grade year. We'll just throw out a test that's standardized to every Michigan school. Take this test, show me where you're at, and we'll rate your school based off of that standardized test.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. People in Detroit compared to people in, somewhere up in the
Kalamazoo.
UP, yeah, or somewhere up in the UP where, they've kind of lived a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you're looking at rankings as far as finances go, things of that nature, some of the people in Detroit or some of the people up in the UP, they don't get enough money to be able to help their kids. They can't buy their kids books. They can't buy the things that they need for school. And when you say that those people in Detroit are the exact same as those people up in the UP, they're totally different lifestyles. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where standardized testing is wrong, because we can't take somebody from Hastings, compare them to somebody in Traverse City, and say they make the same amount of money. The medium here is 35,000, up there it's 60 something. So you can't really standardize the way things are done there and the way things should be done here.
Yeah.
And that's where the schooling gets into problems. So standardized testing. With our stage system and the classic educational style that we have here, you're learning at the level that you should be at. And as you take that step, you're still learning, but you're still learning at that level. And instead of putting you as a 12th grader anywhere else as a 12th grader, anywhere in the country, in the state, not the country, but state, and comparing the two of you to how you did on the substandardized testing, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, so that's the biggest thing I see wrong with public school. And I think they have way too many chiefs and way too much money involved, way too much government money involved.
Yeah.
So what do you think is a better solution to that, to tell how well a school is doing?
I think the way we're doing it now when we run our assessments, I know this last assessment didn't go very well. mainly because we didn't really we ran out of time to take it, number one. Number two, we had too many snow days in between there.
Yeah.
But the assessment style is saying, what did you learn over this semester? Here it is. Show us what you learned. And if we can continue some process in that, I don't know how they can do it in public school, but at our private school here, it's real easy to be able to say, what did you learn in that semester? If you want to make a project on that, and make a project on it, show me what you learned, that type of thing. It works. It works. Kids learn a little bit easier that way. They learn where we're at. What stage am I in now? Here's what you need to learn. Learn it. And if you have issues, we're small enough that a teacher can come straight to that student and say, let me help you with this. So you're looking at 15 at the most in every classroom here, compared to 33, when you get into public school.
Yeah, it's harder for teachers to teach that, like a larger group of children too. You can only help so many people.
Exactly, yeah.
McGee, you got any more?
I mean, do you have any other ideas on some things that like the public school system does differently from us that we do a lot better?
I think our discipline here is a lot better. We try to make leaders here, not necessarily just kids graduating from high school. And I think the public school gets into that whole mentality of we just got to get all these kids graduated and push them out, get them out, get them out. I don't really want to, you guys graduating this year, I don't want to see you go. I don't. I know you need to, but I don't want to see you go.
For 2 months. So
yeah,
I don't know
I've
if
seen
you
the
can really say
senioritis
that
in you, but it's more of a leadership role that I think we can do here that they don't do in public schools. Public schools I have a officer on site. Here he is over here. Somebody does something wrong, they go see that guy. Or they go see the principal, and then the principal sends them to that guy. Here, you guys come see me. And, we're not going to just necessarily suspend you, because what did that do? If there's a kid that wants to go home and stay home for a few days, what's he going to do? He's going to get suspended so he can go home for a few days. And honestly, even talking to my wife, there's a lot of kids that do that. I just want to stay home for a few days. Well, go get suspended. So I think discipline-wise, I think we're on track. Could it use some adjusting? Of course. But I think if we can develop the leaders in the secondary education side of things, we can actually work with the little kids today. And I think we talked about that this morning. The elementary side can learn from what the seniors are saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the other thing with public schools is there's not much initiative or room for changing anything. Like someone can look at like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be suspending children, maybe we should be doing something else. But like, there's not much thinking going on there.
Yeah,
they don't really change it.
Yeah, I think they've gotten kind of too big for their britches. That's the best way to say it. We have things in place that we can help every one of these kids and we can make them succeed. Well, are they succeeding?
How far can that go?
Yeah, are they succeeding though? I mean, as my last job, I think I told some of you there's, I believe in leadership and work ethic, and I think I've talked to both of you about that before. But work ethic is very important to start here at this school. We get the work ethic going. You get out of school, man, you're ready to go. It isn't, I'm leaving school and now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. You guys are already there. You're ready. You know what you want to do and you go do it.
Yeah.
Public education just loses the kids. You graduate high school, they're like, here's your diploma, get out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, part of it's the school system. I mean, you can only prepare people in a school so much. The other part is on parents.
Exactly. I totally agree with that 100%, but we have active parents in the school district as compared to Hastings.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still parents that want to be active.
Yeah.
But if you look at, as a majority, we have a lot more students and parents relationships here than we would at a public school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as intimidating for a parent to build a community here instead of a public school.
Yeah.
It's like drop your kids off and go to work.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
All right, got any more in the chamber, McGee?
So you've been here a little over 2 months. You started just before Christmas break.
Yep.
Just kind of your first impressions of all of the people and our unique quirks that we have here compared to other places.
I think one of the things that was missing when I first walked in the door was pushing the leadership thing. And I've been really pushing hard for that, and work ethic and things of that nature, trying to get the mindsets changed on a lot of the students in the school. Even the 6th and 7th grade class, I'm telling them you got 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, kindergarten. They're seeing what you're doing. They're watching you. Whether you think they are or not, they are. They're seeing what my big people are doing.
Yeah.
So when I first got here, I was kind of surprised that we weren't pushing that more on an angle. So I've been really pushing hard and letting the staff know that I really want that. I really want to see the leadership being developed here. I know Mr. Strong didn't have a whole lot of time to push that.
He had so much going on.
Yeah, he was just doing everything. And honestly, he was doing the work of about 3 different people. We kind of got him away from that now, trying to be just the administrator, but at the same time, he's still a very busy guy.
He's still doing the work of about a person and a half.
Yes, I agree. So the quirks and things like that, the funny nature and stuff like that, I mean, all you guys are a lot of fun. Every morning when I say hi to you, it's something else, and it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy going to work every day. So I don't see anything that would keep that from happening. So, and I love the staff. Staff's very good in their own little quirky ways too. So.
And that's the other thing about private school is, less people, stronger relationship you can build with someone.
Yeah.
Or even a rough relationship with someone. But
Well, I mean,
The lows get lower and the highs get higher.
exactly.
yeah.
But let's be honest, I haven't seen, there's some kids here that, they need a leader, they need a mentor, they need somebody helping them, push them along. And honestly, I don't see any kid here, if any of them calls themselves bad, they need to get out of that habit, because there's not one bad kid here. I don't see any.
Wow.
You can be able
Depends
to
on how you
think you can.
define bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can call themselves bad. They can call themselves whatever they want, but there's not a kid here that cannot succeed.
Right,
this school.
yeah.
And to me, if you want to be bad, you can be unsuccessful and end up in prison. That's up to you. But,
Hey, free food, better.
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You got a free bed. That's true.
Free bed and a hot meal.
Yeah, you get you don't get hot meals, but you'll get
Some of
you'll
them.
get sandwiches a lot.
It's a good deal for a homeless person.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, McGee, I'm still I'm burnt
Yeah.
out on questions, so you got any more?
I think that's all I've got.
All right.
good.
Well, I
Thank
appreciate you
goodness.
guys having me here today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good talking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be leaders.
Have a good
Nice
one, y'all.
conversation.
Have a good Christmas or whatever time of year it is at this point. And see ya.
Bye.
I am Zach. I am your host. I have replaced Kara for this episode of this segment. And today we're going to be covering something that many of you have probably heard of, but don't necessarily have a lot of information on. And that is the murder of John Lennon, star of the Beatles. So let's just get this out there with kind of what happened coming up to his murder. So, Mark Chapman, the convicted killer, was in New York, where John Lennon was doing a radio show that day, a radio special, and he waited outside Lennon's home outside of Central Park, and he shot him. Or sorry, not his home, near the apartment he was staying in. Now, earlier in the day, he had a copy of the book The Catcher in the Rye, and he signed it himself, saying, "From Holden Caulfield to Holden Caulfield, this is my statement." We'll get back to that, the importance of that later. Then he went to where Lennon was staying before he left to go to that radio special, and he got him to sign a Beatles album. and he claimed that at that point that Lennon had looked him in the eyes and knew that that's the man who was going to kill him. And he himself knew, Mark Chapman knew that later that day he was going to kill John Lennon. He very well knew what he was going to do, and he had planned for it. He waited for Lennon to get back the next day in the same place. He never left. And when he came back, Lennon's wife got out of their car and went inside the house. And then, as Lennon was walking away, Chapman turned around, pulled up his gun, which is a .38 caliber Charter Arms pistol, and shot him in the back shoulder, near the upper left chest on the back. So there is a little bit of doubt, however, as to whether or not he's actually the killer. Some people say that based on the grouping of where the bullets hit on Lennon, that it's impossible for Mark Chapman to have been the killer because he had previously not fired a firearm. And some of the nurses who tried to save John Lennon on the scene all claimed that he was shot in the chest rather than in the back, which is impossible from where Chapman was in relation to Lennon. So there's some people who say that he might have been controlled or lied to in order to get him convicted for the crime that he didn't commit rather than someone else, for him to believe he did it. And Lennon's wife has also claimed that she doesn't remember Chapman shooting Lennon, but to point out, Mark Chapman's testimony, which he has gone on record and given out, he had waited until Lennon's wife had gone in the house, so she would not have been there for him to see the shooting. Now, this idea of the catcher in the rye being important kind of goes back to Mark Chapman's childhood. He grew up in a very distraught home. He had a cold and potentially absent father, but he was relatively good in school. And his mother didn't really assume that anything was wrong with him when he was younger, and then over time he slowly slipped through the cracks and got into the drug culture at his school in the South, and he ended up in not the best place. He ended up running away from home at the age of 15. Over time, he went through a lot of various things and was eventually taken into custody a couple times, including one time for LSD. Now, that time, he converted to Christianity. He felt like his life was getting back on track after that, and he went around and did some music and praised the Lord and all sorts of things for various churches and everything that he found himself a part of after he converted out of where he was in his life. And it becomes very clear when you look at this that he was someone absolutely not right in the head. Presumably just something caused by the home environment he had when he was younger, and leaving home at such an early age, running away, and just all the various drugs and all sorts of things he got himself into. And it can mess with a person, and it can end up with a very bad mental state and lead them to make some harsh actions. And The Catcher in the Rye is important because it's a book which has a lot of very intense themes, a lot of things with innocence and depression and just losing interest with the world around you. And in fact, it's actually been in the past banned by several countries, including the United States itself, just for these themes and the time it was released being during the Cold War. Now, the reason that Chapman signed that copy of The Catcher in the Rye that he had on him was because Holden Caulfield is the main character of Catcher in the Rye. And he claimed that Catcher in the Rye shows a kind of fall from grace of people, and he actually encouraged anyone who wants to know why he killed John Lennon to read The Catcher in the Rye, because he believed that if he would kill John Lennon, it would be the end of an era of the 60s and would bring in a new sort of time where people would not be so fallen from where they are as people, and would become a lot more likely to properly interact with the world as he saw it. And he knew what he was doing. He had his reason for it. After he shot John Lennon, waited at the scene of the crime. The gun was eventually stripped from his hand, and he just stood there, questioning himself and why he did it. He turned himself into the police at the scene of the crime. And he was eventually tried and convicted of murder, and ended up in prison for, several years. He never claimed insanity, though. He actually felt a sort of calling to not claim insanity and to instead go to a normal jail. And he thought that he would be surrounded by demons in an insane asylum. In his own testimony, he ascribed this feeling to a sort of Holy Spirit leading him away from the potential demons he could face. And he described his own internal thoughts telling him to shoot John Lennon as he was doing it, as a demon telling him to do it, rather than himself. Which seems very much like an extraordinarily disassociative and insane person's thought process and way to cope with what they do. So overall, this is a very, very deep and interesting story and has a lot of complexities to it, and I encourage any of you to look more into it if you are further interested. And that's really all I've got for you. We will see you later.
Hello?
Hello?
I can still hear. Today, in Portable Thoughts podcast, I'm going to try and see which foods are on brand and off brand.
Yes. Ready?
Yeah. First food,
They're right in front of you.
right in front of me.
What you have in there is all you get.
Alright, so, feels like
They're crackers, I can tell you that.
I have
You have
crackers.
to guess what kind of crackers they are. If you get them wrong, I'll tell you.
I don't know all my crackers, so. These taste gluten-free.
Is there no flavor to it?
Real, fake. Was I right?
What ones?
I'm thinking these are the real ones. And these are the fake ones.
You are correct.
Aren't they those whole wheat crackers?
They're the thin wheats.
Not so. These ones are gluten-free, right?
No, actually, those are veggie thins.
Oh.
Okay, are you ready for your second one?
Yep.
Okay.
Where'd my food go?
It got taken away.
No!
There you go.
I just spilled whatever it is. All good.
What do you think they are?
Cheez-Its. And these are, I don't know what those are.
You did get it right.
Yeah.
Okay. McGee, will you grab this for me?
No, hold on, let me eat a couple more.
No,
I should keep my
it's
mouth
not allowed,
clean.
Brody. It's illegal. You are blind, and we are feeding you. You cannot eat anything but what we feed you.
I can't eat anything I feed.
If I can get the tape off of here.
Tape.
Yeah.
Tape.
You doing any candy?
Huh? The
Give it-
lids to the little containers. The lids did not fit right. Okay. They're stacked, so you can't tell where they are.
How do you know which one's which?
Oh, I know what they are by the book. Can you tell what they are?
Tastes like chocolate.
This one's taking you a while. Did you try both of them?
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
I think they're Milky Ways.
They are not Milky Ways. They are
Three Musketeers.
peppermint patties.
Oh, well, it's that one.
You are correct.
Okay.
They're pretty good. There's 2 containers there.
All right. Now we got more. Oh, gummies. Okay. We got more gummies.
Do you know what they are?
I don't know. Let me. Sour Patch Kids.
They are not Sour Patch Kids. They
Oh.
are sour gummies, though.
Oh, well, that's still the real one. Right?
You are wrong.
Dang it.
These are the real ones. These are the fake ones.
I don't really eat that much sour candy.
Okay. This one, I want you to guess what it is from the smell.
Smell?
Yes. And then you can taste them.
They smell almost the same. Are these dog treats, Kara?
They are not dog treats.
They smell like dog treats.
They are not.
Oh, it's jerky.
You can eat it now.
Who's that?
I think it's Jay. McGee.
Well. Yeah. This is that. This one.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's real?
Yep.
What brand is it, do you know?
I don't remember, but it's got like the bull horns.
Jack Link's.
Yeah.
You did get it correct. You've only gotten one wrong so far.
What is food?
Okay, this one, please be careful.
Oh, is it a drink?
It is liquid.
Alright.
This is our last one and probably the hardest. So, they're in front of you.
Oh. They're in stuff. This one's fizzling a lot.
Do you know what it is?
I can't tell.
Ooh. Cindy Schultz is watching.
This tastes like something I've never had before, so you might...
Oh, you've talked about drinking this.
I have?
Yeah, and what you have in the cups is all you get.
This is the real one.
Do you know what they are?
I think it's like root beer or something.
It is cream soda, and you did get it right. You only
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
We're doing a letter conversation where one person says a letter and the phrase has to start with that letter, and then the next person goes off. So like McGee is going to start with A, I'm going to be C, or B, and you're going to be C, and it's going to continue on like that. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Brody's got his snacks from the last segment. Let's go.
Alrighty. After the party got through the woods, they came across something new.
Because they wanted to.
Cream soda was their favorite drink.
Don't be fooled, they were very strong.
Even if they didn't think they were, they did.
fall they shall not.
Gates often open for them to pass.
Have they gone through 'em? Who knows? You're an I.
I know.
Brody knows the alphabet, maybe.
I just can't think of anything. I followed them in the gate.
Just for them to turn around.
Ketchup, they saw.
Lightning speed I went to catch back up.
Many moons later, I finally found them.
No, they were dead.
Oh no. What will I do now? My friends are dead.
Purposely capture death.
Quiet time is needed.
Run away because there's a giant monster chasing me.
Screeching like a bat.
Today will not be a great day.
Unless I get away from the monster.
Very, very quickly.
With bears by my side.
What's something that starts with an X?
That's the point, buddy.
X-ray vision I use to get on the other side of the wall to escape the monster.
Yellow stones behind him, trying to catch up.
Zebras saved them all.
How we mention she got a happy ending out of that?
Because the zebras saved them all.
I guess. That's some pretty powerful zebras.
That jerky really is not good.
Then you should do it reverse. Start with
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let's do it. Z.
Zebras were not powerful enough.
Oh,
Why, you may ask?
That word does not start with the letter Y.
she's texting it.
Yes.
No!
X-ray vision did not save the day.
Welcome, the apocalypse.
Very scary zombies appear.
Brody, that's you.
I know. Under the car, I found a gun.
Today was not gonna be a good day.
So they said, but who knows how it will turn out.
Run as fast as you can, otherwise the zombies will get you.
Quickly hide from the sky.
Pause.
Pause. Just pause.
Yes.
What?
Oh, I almost forgot. My gun.
No way I could go out in this world without it.
My dear, it is so scary.
Let me handle it.
No. I want to say canaries. That starts with a C. And there's a...
Oh,
Brody!
excuse me.
Knocking on the door. The zombies came for me.
Just then, I realized they weren't zombies.
I was just high on drugs.
High on something I got from my best friend.
Great news to hear in this situation.
Forgot that they were drugs.
Every time. Every single time.
Dogs eat those, not humans.
Cats would die if they tried.
Bananas would lose their potassium.
And all of this never happened.